Jeffrey B, Healing Shame. Welcome. Fake smile there, but you know, I'm welcoming you, my viewers. Yeah, I'm tired. Um, Doing the best I can. I'm trying to go off the grid, and when I say that, I just mean turn the phone off. My phone is off right now simply because I'm addicted to checking messages, and that's not good for me. And that's the only reason I'm doing it. I'm not trying to avoid anybody or anything. It's nothing to do with that. It's just about trying to practice self love for myself and take a step back from always checking messages because I get obsessed and all that. So I'm stepping back from that at least for a couple hours this morning until I get done what needs to be done breakfast, meditation, and all that. Then I can check if I so choose. It is June the 7th, and it's cloudy. It's a little cloudy morning here. It's about 7, a quarter till 8 a.m. in the morning. And basically, what's come up is I didn't sleep well because last night I had a dream in which my younger brother and I were talking, and I was making him cry about something. I confronted him, and I could see it's almost like the message I sent him not long ago made his inner kids cry. And I was there in the dream, and I was either the kid. Also, we were both children or younger teenagers, whatever, talking to each other, and I was making him cry, and he was all crying, tearing up, and slobbery lips. He had slobbery lips. Um, I could just look. It was so real, his face, the way he was as a kid. Anyway, I was making him cry, and my dad came up and was like, "What are you doing, making him cry?" Then my dad confronted me. I was like, "I'm not afraid of you." And me and Dad butted heads, and I think we started fighting, punching each other, or something. I don't know, headbutting each other. But in the end, after all that mess, I hugged my younger brother and cried in my dreams. When I woke up, I had a bunch of tears pulled up here. And that happens often for me. Tears pulling in the corner of my eyes. And that's healing. I'm processing something. The grief is coming out of my sleep because in my waking hours, I'm repressed. I've got protectors in there, managers and firefighters that keep the tears from coming so we can stay composed and get through the day. So in my sleep, my defenses are down. Those protectors are offline. So grief can be processed, and grief can be unfrozen and come out in the form of tears. So that's what's been happening. So that's one thing that's coming up. And that's really really important actually, because by hugging my younger brother out in the dream, by hugging him there, and the tears coming out, we were mending the rift. I don't know if that's going to transmit or translate over into real life. Hopefully that'll ripple out through time and space and make our relationship come together again, because right now he's cut me off. So that hurts. But yeah, so there's one thing. The second thing I want to talk about is this idea of IFS. That's internal family systems, IFS. And basically, what this is somewhere along the way, the self encountered trauma. And inside of us, we began to split off from reality, and we became a divided self. Okay. So the parts are frozen in time, basically, and they're locked away and pushed back further into the recesses of our subconscious mind, and they are repressed parts. These parts that get compartmentalized are known as exiles. And they are parts that are hurting, and they need to be heard or listened to and have compassion for. We need to have compassion for these parts of self. And basically, in essence, by pushing these parts away, these exiles, and locking them in cages, as you can see in the video, they're locked in these prisons. And each exile has its own body sensation, emotions, actions, and urges and beliefs, their own neuropsychological MO, okay, and template that they operate from. But they're trapped, they're frozen in time, okay? And we have to be able to pull them out and integrate them back into our psyche. Otherwise, we stay divided. And the goal is to become the whole self. Now, there are also managers and firefighters in IFS therapy. What do the managers do? The managers are going to keep the exiles pushed back so that they can't get out and cause a bunch of trouble or get us to feel the pain that they're feeling. They have their own body sensations also, emotions, actions, and urges, and beliefs and thoughts. The managers, they protect, they're the protectors, okay? And they get us to stay focused, stay composed. Like I said earlier, to get through my day, to work on projects. They want to get us to do all these great things, be successful. Um, they are functionally dysfunctional. So basically, it's like if you're an alcoholic, you're functioning. That's how these things operate. With firefighter protectors, they allow us to react and distract, if you will. So they're going to allow us to engage in distracting dissociative behavior like alcohol, panic, porn, self harm, fear, addiction to excitement. All of these internal drugstore things like the fear, the shame, all of the external, the exogenous substances like the alcohol, the morphine, the heroin, they are dissociative. Okay. And this is what allows us, uh, the dissociative protectors basically allows us to stay away from our feelings and not have to process any of it. Removed from time and awareness, unable to hear our surroundings, sleepy or drowsy. And it keeps us numbed out, deadened, psychically, it's psychic numbing. Okay, basically is what it is. And so, of course, dissociation is anybody knows what this is dissociation. This is the place where we split off from reality and we're not feeling our feelings and we're not in reality. We're binging on YouTube. It could be anything, whatever it is. It allows our exiles to stay locked away. If the managers get tired of preventing the exiles from coming out to destroy or sabotage our lives or get us to feel something, the firefighters will distract us. So we've got two forms of defense here, two lines of protection, the managers and the firefighters. You can see there's a great wall in the image. You can see the great wall that is keeping our exiles pushed down and away from the rest of self. The goal, of course, is to go in, break through the wall, fly over it, get around it, go under it, and bring these exiles, integrate the exiles back into the self, into the psyche. Because the exiles are hurting. And the firefighters are going to distract us from being able to try to bring the exiles in. And the managers are going to push them away. Maybe even fight them, beat them, push them down, punch them. So, In the end, we need to bring these exiles back into the psyche. It's called integration. We need to integrate the exiles. And by integrating the exiles, we're going to talk to our parts and listen to what they have to say. That's what we need to do. We need to try to bring them in, welcome them into the conference room. If they don't want to come, we try to use another part, like our anger. Maybe we brought some anger in. We know the anger is there. The anger is not a manager or a fighter. The anger is one of the exiles. Again, in the end, the goal is to unite the parts, bring the exiles back in. That's called integration. And we want to become the whole self. Right now, we're divided. Now, to be honest and practical, are we ever going to be completely, all of our parts always going in the same direction? Probably not. Realistically, we can get maybe 80, 90% of them somewhere down the road, maybe not even that high, going in this way. And some might want to split off and go that way. Always going to have a little bit of rebel in there that wants to burn the bridges and destroy the world, blow it up, and hurt people or him or herself. So, what we need to do then is we've got to have a loving parent in here. First of all, we've got to bring our exiles back in, and we talk to them, and we use our other parts like our anger or whatever to help us bring those exiles back into the fold, integrate them, and then once we get more brought back in by talking, practicing self-love, self-talk, affirmations, patting yourself. I love you, boys. You're all welcome here. No, even your exiles, wherever, you're all welcome home. We're all together in this body, this mind, and we're all on the same side. Once you start bringing some exiles back in, the managers can relax, and your second line of defense, your firefighters can relax, and they can serve other purposes, like your cheerleader, your personal cheerleader, cheering you on, helping them bring more exiles back in, so you can start to unfreeze your stuck grief. Because the point here is to let this grief come out, and that core of toxic shame will start breaking down. We're busting it open. Because those parts in there, they think they're bad. They're shamed to death, so they get pushed behind that wall. They can't come out into the psyche and integrate with the rest of your parts, our parts. So, you know, we try to become whole as we can. And so, for example, for me, my firefighter is going to try to get me on the phone and check messages and stay connected that way, addicted, basically, split off. So I've got it off, the phone is off, so that I can do this video and then go get breakfast and then go meditate and get my mind grounded in the right place. And then I can come back and check if I need to. But this is all about self-love. It's all about talking to your parts, dialoguing with them, advocating for them through a loving parent who's not going to let the parts take over. We don't want to let some of these wounded parts, these exiles, take over and sabotage, because they will attempt that. And they're not bad for it. It's just they don't know any other way. They're hurting. They want us to notice them. They need us. Hey, I'm here. I'm back here. They're rattling the cage like I did as a boy. I rattled the cage. Hey, I'm back here. Nobody paid attention to me. I'm not blaming anybody for it, but it happened. I'm back here. My exiles are saying, well, we got to let them in. We don't want to be that type of parent that neglects, like maybe we were neglected. So we've got to love these parts and say, hey, okay, what do you have to tell me? Bring you into the room. Let's talk. Tell me about yourself. How can you help me? How can you help me help release more exiles and feel my grief, process the emotions, and heal? Because, pain is healthy. We have to learn to sit with it. And by sitting with that, we're going to move that stuck grief out and bust that core of toxic shame wide open and heal and get some peace finally. So we can help other people, other adult children, other codependents, other trauma survivors heal their brokenness. So that's all I have I wish you all the best. And until next time, all the best.